You literally cannot make this stuff up. So yesterday, or I'm sorry, I think it was this morning, we talked about GameStop announcing that they're going to be buying Bitcoin, right? And again, this positive catalyst is short-lived. This shouldn't surprise you. In today's earlier video, I talked about, hey, I'm thinking about opening a short. I want to show you. I actually closed out the short. There was so much consolidation. I just didn't have the patience for it because I already made my money shorting Tesla. But I want to show it to you guys. I ended up closing out my short. I lost $58. So I closed out my short when it was nearly break even. I just closed it out and I stayed. As you can see, my short's completely closed out. For my Tesla position, I made 4.3K. At one point, I was up over $5,000. I tried to go in for a trade again. Direction turned against me. I quickly closed it. So again, my trades are never perfect. The thing that I always try to focus on, the thing that I always try to preach is manage risk, right? This is the part that cracks me up about GameStop. I made a video about it, simply highlighting of like, hey, they just announced that they're going to try to copy MicroStrategy in buying Bitcoin and having a Bitcoin treasury. We all know that it's complete bullshit. We all know that it's only shitty companies that are doing this. And we all know that it's just any way to try to manipulate their stock price to cause it to go up, right? All these crypto bros and Reddit idiots will try to come together and squeeze the stock. It's always what they try to do. It works for a very short period of time and then always comes crashing down. Maybe this will give GameStop another chance to sell their positions at a much higher level, just like they did last time. So the thing that people are kind of beginning to ask the question, and this is why you're seeing so much selling pressure after market hours, this significant drop that presented itself didn't present itself during until after the market closed. And a lot of you guys know is that I don't carry my positions overnight. I close my trades and I try to the best of my ability every single day. This is a way that I can manage my risk, not avoid it, right? Especially when shorting something, it's inherently very risky. That's always something that I try to preach to beginners, right? With that being said, what was announced was that today, GameStop announces and proposes a private offering of $1.3 billion of convertible senior notes. They're trying to do exactly what MicroStrategy does. But the difference is that MicroStrategy doesn't have any available cash, right? GameStop does. GameStop, if I'm not mistaken, has like over $4 billion in cash. Well, how did they come across $4 billion? Remember during that whole GameStop movement, when the stock was pumping, GameStop, the company itself, liquidated its own shares. They're like, whoa, our bullshit company is never going to be trading at these levels. Let's play it smart, load off our shares here, and when it comes back down, we can buy more if we want to. That is how they have so much cash. Why is it that if you're so bullish on Bitcoin, a very simple question, why wouldn't you just buy Bitcoin with the money that you have? Why raise money at 0% interest, dilute investors that obviously is going to upset them? This is why we're seeing such a significant sell-off, because everyone can see and read through the lines. It's all bullshit. There's a reason MicroStrategy has been struggling so much lately, and it's because all they do is they raise more money, dilute more investors. The company can borrow at 0% interest. So yeah, it's kind of smart for the company, but it's terrible for investors because investors are getting diluted because they're being borrowed against. This means that if this proposal gets approved, GameStop will be able to create $1.3 billion of shares out of thin air, sell them, and borrow against them at 0% interest. Isn't that crazy? And again, supposedly, this is the part that cracks me up. It's always the bullshit companies. It's not Amazon. It's not Google, right? A lot of people like to say, oh, well, Tesla owns some Bitcoin. That must be a BS company. We all know Elon. He's a troll. And first off, he could afford it. His company could afford it. MicroStrategy can't afford it. GameStop can't afford it. That's why they're doing it in this share offering. That's why they want to borrow against their investors. It's, in my opinion, this whole approach that GameStop is choosing to take, this is people's approach right now, like people that are incredibly bullish on Bitcoin. Why the F is GameStop issuing debt to buy Bitcoin when they already have $3 billion worth of cash sitting around? Very simple question. Again, why would you take that risk with your own money? It's not about, oh, they're bullish on Bitcoin. No. They want to jump into the hype, but they don't want to do it in a risky way, because if they lose those $3 billion, that's their lifeline. That's what's buying them time. Because we all know, if you look into their financials, GameStop loses money every single quarter. So by having so much cash in their balance sheets and they can earn interest off of it, they can offset those losses and buy themselves time. They can't afford losing those $3 billion. So what are they doing? Well, we want to please investors by getting more investors to jump in to invest in GME. And we want to be viewed at just like MicroStrategy and see if that can manipulate our stock price and cause it to go up. So we'll just borrow against it just like MicroStrategy does. It sucks for current investors because they're just going to get diluted, but at least we don't take any additional risk than what we already are doing. Like, this is what reminds me of when the United States announced their own Bitcoin treasury, but that they're not going to cost the US taxpayer any money. So it needs to be a 0-to-0 sum, as in like the US cannot take money out of money that it raises through taxes and be able to actually buy Bitcoin. They have to do it in a way that is neutral for the US. And again, like, that is such BS. And I love it because it just shows how uncertain, it just shows how risky everyone knows Bitcoin is, but they're just too afraid to say it. Why wouldn't GameStop? If you have $3 billion in cash, why wouldn't you? You're bullish on Bitcoin. Why wouldn't you go long on Bitcoin? Do it. Well, because you know that there's a very high chance that Bitcoin isn't going to survive, right? That it will lose 50 to 70% on the next bear run, just as it does every single time. So again, the truth always comes out. Read between the lines. Do not fall for their bullshit. There's a series of people that actually went out of their way, found me on Instagram, and direct messaged me. I can't believe you're hating on crypto. I can't believe you're hating on GameStop. I was like, bro, if you think El Salvador, MicroStrategy, and GameStop are going to run the world, then you are your own problem. You're Delulu, right? There is no way that these bullshit companies or those BS countries that, again, they buy one Bitcoin every single day. Okay, they do it in a way to just catch the hype, right? MicroStrategy is a little bit different. He's so incredibly leveraged that he better hope that Bitcoin doesn't crash, because we all know that just like in 2000, what happened to Michael Saylor? He became incredibly over-leveraged by also offering those convertible bonds to borrow against his investors to buy into tech companies. It came crashing down. He lost $6 billion in one day, and again, almost lost it all, almost went to jail. What do you think is going to happen to the crypto market when it falls 50 to 70%? And what do you think is going to happen to Michael Saylor? I believe it's going to be the FTX thing all over again. I think he will cause more harm than good in this crypto market. Just my opinion. But again, I'm super excited to follow up because, again, no one can predict the future. So let's make it simple. Put your money where your mouth is. If you think GameStop is so incredibly bullish, buy it. Just like today, if I see a short opportunity, I will short it. Don't be afraid to manage risk. But again, you're bullish on it, right? You shouldn't be afraid of that volatility, as all you crypto bros like to say. Volatility is validity, whatever it is that you idiots tell each other. I'm super excited. I feel like the truth is finally starting to come out, and I'm really excited to share this kind of like whole process of these BS companies falling apart once again. Because again, if you're running a truly successful company that's publicly traded, why would you buy Bitcoin? It's a Hail Mary. We have no other option. We just want to stay relevant. And again, it's Mara, it's MicroStrategy, and it's GME, the worst of the worst. So I think that speaks for itself. Very excited for tomorrow's live trading session. I hope to see you guys there. We might be shorting MicroStrategy. We might be shorting Tesla. Shoot, I might be shorting GameStop. But as long as our criteria is met, again, you'll be able to actively see me trade all my good trades, all of my bad trades. Like I say every single morning. Again, I'll see you there. Second link in the description down below. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.